I want to start off by saying this is a very disturbing, uncomfortable interview to watch. If you're watching this with your kids, they're 12, 10, 14 years old, this is not the one for them to watch. There was extreme tension in certain moments. Some of this, she shared some names she's never shared before. Multiple were prime ministers. Multiple were billionaires. These are her claims. Enjoy this uncomfortable interview that I had with Annika Lucas. The reason why I wanted to have this conversation, this is not a podcast you want to sit there. I can't wait to watch this one here. But I think we have to, because, with the 359,000 missing children in America as of 2022, according to the FBI, what else do we need to do? Just sit around and not talk about it? No. You know what? It's just too disturbing to watch. It's just too disturbing to watch. Someone's kid is missing. Do we not bring light to it? Do we not address it? I just feel it's our responsibility. And every once in a while, I do these because I think it's our responsibility to bring attention to it. It takes a lot of courage to talk about it. I also don't want to sit there and, claim everyone's guilty. I believe innocent till proven guilty, but I believe go do your research and your own due diligence on the names that she's dropping. You're 9 years old at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. And who's there? Some of the names that you're saying, who's there at this party?
I know you really want to hear names, and I really don't like to focus so much on the names, but Eddie Arnold was an American perpetrator that was there. And Eddie Arnold was, So Eddie Arnold was somebody who really, really, really wanted to belong to the club. And I don't know how people got in there. Some of them are coming in through masonry. Some of them are coming in other ways because they get famous and then they get lured in. But he just really wanted to belong.
Now, when you say belong to the club, meaning just to be there.
Power.
Was he?
It's power.
But not abusing kids. You're not.
No, he abused me, yeah. I mean, he abused me.
So here we have her reluctantly giving us the first name, and it's of a famous musician. Now, as she states, she's going to say this over and over again, she doesn't want to focus so much on the names of the individuals, but more so of the corruption, the acts, and the cover-up of itself. Now, as we're going to continue seeing this is where PBD doesn't say the name. He just kind of leads her into it, talks to her saying, you've mentioned other politicians. And that's when she drops the name Pierre Trudeau.
Meanwhile, horrible things were happening.
Songs.
Yeah. Meanwhile, lots of horrible things were happening.
But you see, if I look online, there's literally nothing online about accusations about Eddie Arnold.
Can you say? You're not going to I know a lot of survivors of David Rockefeller, but I don't think you're going to find any accusation online about David Rockefeller. It's all about cover-up. It was very, very good. All the investment, all the money goes, not all the money, but it goes a lot to the image.
You gave a couple other names to me earlier. I don't want to say it until you're comfortable. One of the names was another famous politician from the West.
Yeah.
How did you meet him?
He was also there that week.
Yeah,
Pierre Trudeau.
And what was the interaction with you?
Scary.
Was his wife also involved or just him?
I didn't see his wife, or I don't know. I didn't see anybody else but him.
But you vividly remember him. And when did you know it was him later on? Because at the time you're 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, again, this came much, much later. I don't remember exactly when I realized that it was him.
You don't remember when he came to you later that it was Pierre?
No.
Justin Trudeau's father, right? That's
yes.
who you're talking about.
Yes.
I mean, you've never mentioned his name before, right? No. Trudeau. What was that relationship like, or the experience like? Was it a one-day thing? Was it a repetitive that happened? All
right, I'll tell you something. David Rockefeller had me trained as a spy. So I was a sex slave, of course, and I was an elite sex slave now. And I was trained as a spy through the mind control training. And so that week, I was sleeping with men, and then I would go report on their weaknesses or their sexual preferences to David Rockefeller.
Why did he need that information? Is that how to blackmail and use it later on in negotiation?
For example. Or if he knows what they want, then he can give it to them sexually. So about Trudeau, I said that I could never please him as long as I was alive. That's how scary that was.
You could never please him?
If I was alive.
With Trudeau?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
It means that he couldn't kill me because at that point I was not a throwaway child. And he scared me enough so that I then tell Rockefeller that that's what he wants, a child to kill.
The people that were involved were following directions from George Bush. I don't purport to know it all. I don't purport to know that George Bush is at the very top of all this, but he is as high up as I knew. It was my experience that Ronald Reagan answered to George Bush, not robotically, not under mind control, but willingly, because George Bush was respected for what he knew about bringing in the New World Order. Consider his past. George Bush first began with the United Nations. Then he went on to head our CIA. Then he ran our country through 3 administrations that I'm aware of, the Reagan administration, his administration, and the Clinton administration, because Reagan and Clinton both answered to him. Mexican President de la Madrid answered to him and knew that Salinas was to be coming into power, and Salinas had more influence in Mexico at that time than de la Madrid, that, as far as my experience was concerned. Also, Saudi Arabian King Fahd followed orders from George Bush, as did the Prime Minister of Canada, Brian Mulroney. In 1983, I heard Ronald Reagan and Brian Mulroney discussing the New World Order. Senator Byrd had acted in the capacity of a pimp and prostituted me to Reagan, and I was present at this White House cocktail party. Nevertheless, I heard Ronald Reagan telling Brian Mulroney that he believed the only way to world peace was through mind control of the masses. Once my father agreed to sell me into the project, I was taken routinely to Mackinac Island, Michigan, which is a political retreat where the Michigan governor's mansion is located. It was a bohemian grove of sorts where politicians met and discussed New World Order controls, where they discussed mind control of the masses, mind control in the school systems, how to use occultism as a trauma base. One of my sexual abusers at that time was the Prime Minister of Canada, Pierre Trudeau. Pierre Trudeau is a professed Jesuit. Now, the Jesuits are an intelligence arm of the Catholic Vatican. There's a criminal faction within these Jesuits. I'm certainly not saying all Catholics are bad, nor am I saying all CIA is bad or all politicians. There's good and bad in everything. But nevertheless, Pierre Trudeau represented this criminal faction of the Catholic Church, of the Jesuits, who believed in mind control of the masses.
Trudeau and MK Ultra. By me, Kathy O'Brien. Justin Trudeau or Justin Castro? Either way, the father who raised him, former Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, was a master of MK Ultra mind control of individuals and nations, with a goal of implementing what Adolf Hitler, George Bush, and Joe Biden term the New World Order. The question regarding who the biological father is of the current Canadian Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, raises questions about his mother. Was Justin's mother, Margaret Trudeau, a presidential model, MK Ultra mind control slave, as I was told by my politically affluent? What does this say about Justin Trudeau? Was he groomed by Pierre Trudeau to lead Canada into the New World Order by genetic design, or through MK Ultra mind control? I know from experience that Pierre Trudeau is skilled in trauma-based mind control, having sexually assaulted me at age 9 at the Mackinac Island, Michigan Governor's Mansion. My 1995 testimony for Congress, Transformation of America, was censored under national security due to my naming family bloodlines hell-bent on implementing a global slave society, including then Governor of Michigan George Romney, Rhino Mitt's father, Pierre Trudeau, Justin's so-called father, George Bush, and more. My pedophile father sold me into CIA MKUltra Mind Control's Project Monarch, which is rooted in multi-generational incest. After being trafficked to Pierre Trudeau, I lost any remaining free thought to traumatic control due to his expertise in Jesuit manipulation of the subconscious mind. While I was being trafficked yet again to Gerald Ford to fulfill his perversions, he was blasting Rod Stewart on his stereo as he often did. He told me Maggie May had been titled for Maggie Trudeau. Margaret Trudeau had been in the news due to having been institutionalized for a mental breakdown. Her reputation for sexual promiscuity with world-famous celebrities and politicians was being diverted by media spin focused on her drug use and for being bipolar. Bipolar and schizophrenia are often terms misapplied to dissociative disorders resultant from horrific abuse, such as those experienced in MKUltra mind control. As people around the world recognize Justin Castro Trudeau's imposed dictatorship on Canada, and as increasing numbers of survivors of MKUltra speak out on the pervasiveness of mind control, the internet is scrubbing information on mind control and rewriting history on those like Margaret Trudeau. Research deep.